When we look at living effortlessly, part of that is being able to receive from life, receive the help of others, receive the opportunities, receive the ideas. And a lot of that receiving mode is found in simply relaxing and asking and letting it be given. So often our efforting is a result of, not really allowing ourselves to receive, and also being in the habit of just doing too much. And we want to just notice that innocent habit of thought. Oh, it's up to me if it's going to get done. If I don't take care of it, it's not going to get done properly. Well, I need to do it because on some level, if I don't do it, I'm going to feel bad or feel guilty or feel like out of control, right? We want to catch this. This is Bob at work. Remember our dear friend, Bob, the drunk in our head. Bob is very insistent that you live the path of effort whilst your soul is guiding you to the path of least resistance. And in the example in my own life this past week or so with Christmas decor, I'm able to step back and kind of laugh at myself at this stage. Like, look at you pushing through again, Grace. Look at you making life effortful when you don't need to. And then I'm also able to see the innocence in that, see that sometimes we fall back into our old habits of efforting when it's not needed. Part of the way my life has become effortless has been in understanding more deeply that we are being lived. We are not doing the living. Your eyes looking at my eyes right now have a consciousness behind them. Your heart is beating, your blood is flowing. All of it is happening without you or I having to push buttons or strive or struggle. And when we get into connection with that, who we really are, not who we think we are, we begin to experience this deep feeling of being lived. Of course, we have free will. Of course, we can make our choices. Of course, we can follow our desires. Of course, we're all individual. But as we get interested in this energy behind life that is living us and looking through us right now at each other, we begin to see that we're taken care of. And it is our innocent habit of efforting that can make things more difficult. I was such a striver in the early days of my business. I really thought it was all on me to get it all done. And that took me so far, and it was not enjoyable. I fell out of love with what I was doing in a short period of time and started to wonder why I'd left my day job. And then as I began to really look in this direction, receiving mode, the principles that guide life, taking care of life for us, I began to just stop pushing against life so much. And the way that initially showed up for me was I waited on life to invite me to things. Before I used to go and make it happen. Now I moved into just let life invite you to the next thing. Let's see what life shows up with. A lot of my ideas were coming from an overexcited mind. Some people can get confused between inspiration and just a busy mind being really, really excited. And so all of these things I was doing and efforting at were actually not even coming from a true desire. They were just coming from an innocent habit of busyness. As I began to let life invite me, I noticed an, a real effortless path. I'm not saying that's a technique or something that you have to do to have the experience of effortlessness, but there was something for me in really going into receiving mode, relax mode, sitting back mode, and letting life come to me. And it was incredible what began to happen as a result of that. Not only did the feeling of well-being start to raise, and I began to just enjoy life more, but the mind cleared too, and I could receive ideas that moved me forward. I could really hear the difference between Bob shouting at me to do something and get on with something, and the actual inspiration to take action. So, really invite all of us this week and going forward into the festive season and into the world, beyond this course, to allow yourself to be lived, allow yourself to experience that effortlessness that is your true nature when you're not pushing up against life, is the path of least resistance, and is often preceded by, I just want to do that. That's an inspired nudge. I just want to do that. Less of this, more of that. And if when we let ourselves go in the direction of what we're feeling inspired to do, no matter how it looks to the world, again, this experience of effortless living becomes the norm. So, as much as you think you're needed for things to work out, even less of you, the small you, is needed in order for things to work out. And as we begin to get a feel for being lived, this energy that's living us, why on earth would we even want to consider going in the direction of what the small mind makes up is next for us? Um, I know there were just some questions coming in there. I love the decorations. Okay. Um, Resistance to receiving due to not feeling worthy, not good enough. Um, you know, it doesn't matter why we have a hard time receiving or relaxing. So often we want to get into the analysis of why we're not able to. There's no juice there. The juice is in us noticing, oh, I'm pushing up against receiving that. I'm not letting myself receive that. The moment we notice that, the game's over. Whether or not we get into analyzing our worthiness, our history, what's wrong with us, our feminine nature, our masculine nature, that's all optional. I just invite everybody as they go along, just notice when you're noticing some resistance. And with that beautiful free will you have, chances are you're going to drop out of that anyway because you've just seen it. But even if you don't, just it's innocent. It's not something you have to add to your worry list, you know? All I can really say to just set the table today and it is anything joyful and fulfilling and easy is born without your striving for it, your efforting towards it. So let yourselves off the hook and keep going in the direction of what's enjoyable, what feels right, what would be easy. And as Bob sneaks in to make it hard or to make it more difficult, difficult than it needs to be, just be in the noticing of that and don't go there.